Ready?
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, you're here. Okay. Well, thank you. I have to say we listened to the speaker's comments and we're frankly confused by them. To have another negotiating team come in was not what was agreed to. What we realize now, the working groups have done their job. On the Democrats' timeline, we postponed discussion amongst the leaders until after the election. This discussion now about balancing the budget and the reforms that we need to make the budget balance needs to be at the leaders' level. We will be meeting tomorrow. I understand the speaker indicated that. We will be beginning with the framework of the working groups. There was no agreement that there would be another round of negotiating teams. It's time that the leaders do what they need to do. The working groups did what they need to do. And we need, as leaders, to get to the table, the five of us, and make the final decisions in order to serve the people of Illinois. It seems to me right now that the speaker is still trying to make the governor the enemy, and now is the time to serve the people of Illinois. And that is just not happening, at least as far as he's concerned. So we'll look forward to tomorrow. I'm suspicious, but at least they have agreed to attend, and we have a document that we'll be working off of.
Thank you. Let me just make a statement. I wish there was a greater sense of urgency from the Democrat leaders to resolve the budget crisis. We are running out of spending authority at the end of December. We have limited days on the calendar. I just want to reemphasize that the governor, myself, and Senator Radogno are prepared to work nonstop to fulfill our obligation to get a complete, comprehensive budget, one that is balanced and one that's fair to taxpayers, that has reforms. We are not interested in reconstituting the working groups. We've done that for 2 years in a row. We know what the product is. It is now a matter of the four leaders and the governor to resolve and to reconcile what the recommendations are. But I also want to emphasize that we are not going to support any more stopgap budgets. We need to do a comprehensive, full-year budget for the state of Illinois.
What were you confused by exactly with Speaker Madigan?
Well, that his takeaway from the meeting was that he would be appointing yet another negotiating team. That was raised, but that certainly was not agreed to. What we need to do now is the leaders need to take the product of the working groups, which is bipartisan and bicameral, and then sit down and decide what they can agree to, what they can't agree to. The governor certainly expressed openness to how we get to those reforms, how we get to the budget, but another round of working groups in mid-level was not part of the agreement.
The speaker seemed to indicate that in order to get a deal, there could not be any turnaround agenda items. He said we have to follow the previous frameworks for deals, which, as you know, did not include those. So where does that leave?
Well, those were stopgap, they were inadequate, they were unbalanced. Those were not successful budgets. And we're not willing to continue to go down that road. I mean, when is the right time is the question I have for the speaker.
Leader Radogno, you said that you feel Madigan is making the governor the enemy again, but you could say that Republicans did that for the entire campaign, and they're still doing that now, urging their members not to make him speaker again. How do you negotiate with that kind of rhetoric still?
The campaign is over. We are big boys and girls.
But
It's
I
time
got a
to.
memo from the GOP today saying don't make Speaker Madigan the speaker again. So isn't that rhetoric still?
I don't even know who sent the memo. I certainly didn't. But the political side always is an undercurrent there. But there's a responsibility when you're in that room to do the work for the people of Illinois. The campaign's over. Anyone at that level knows that, and they need to get over it and get down to business.
Let me emphasize this. The rank and file Democrats, I will just say that the rank and file Democrats are desperate for a comprehensive budget. They do not want a repeat of last year, which is a stopgap. Everybody has to give in a little bit, and that is the way budgets are negotiated. We're at a tipping point. We are willing to work with the Democrats with their priorities, but it's a two-way street. They have to work with us with our priorities. We can do that we will get a good product and the governor will sign a budget. But going down the same road and saying it's our way or the highway, which the Democrats have been doing for the past 2 years, is going to put this state in further peril.
So you refuse to appoint anybody to this?
Do you think it's a step back if Speaker Madigan is not in the room?
Yes, I definitely think it's a step back if he's not in the room. I mean, it's just such an old game. I'm going to put someone between me and the decision to insulate me from having to take responsibility.
In the past,
there was no agreement for another round of
these working groups have more been running out the clock, and that's what my fear is that if they're going to continue to say we're going to reappoint new members to our negotiating team, that is a sense of running out the clock. This is now a matter for the 4 leaders and the governor to resolve the work product from these committees over the last 2 years, which we can get done.
So what did get done in that meeting?
We did agree to come back tomorrow with the working product from the working group. So the items that they agreed to, the budget framework they put together last spring, there have been some changes, the pension assumptions changed. So we did agree to utilize that as a basis for additional discussion.
So what is President Culleton's role in the meeting today? Is he on board with this negotiating committee?
He's coming back tomorrow.
What turnaround items have to be part of a final deal?
Look, there's a lot on the table, but the fact is the governor's made it clear that I'm willing to work with them, and maybe some things can be put off. But the fact is, that is what the 4 of us are going to have to reconcile with the governor.
Are there any
No, everything's it's the same things that we've been discussing, and our working groups have negotiated over and over again over the past 2 years.
When you say a comprehensive budget, you mean for the remaining 6 months of the...
No, I'm talking a full budget that's going. Well, we have a budget that runs out at the end of this year, so it is about moving forward in the next fiscal year and having that completed. Thanks, later. Thanks.
You said not. Oh, gosh. Sorry? No, you survived. I did.